Welcome back to MetaCast. I'm John, and with me again is Maya for another deep dive.
Hey, everyone.
This time we're diving into Moana 2. It's a box office smash hit.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's talking about it.
So let's break down why it's doing so well.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Moana 2 just absolutely crushed it on its opening weekend.
Like, really crushed.
It was Thanksgiving weekend, and it brought in a huge $225.2 million domestically. That's over 5 days, by the way.
5 days. Wow, that's incredible. To put that in perspective, the previous record holder was Super Mario Bros. The movie.
Right.
And that movie earned $204.6 million.
Yeah.
So Moana 2 just blew past that.
Yeah, and if we add in the international box office numbers,
Oh, wow.
it gets even bigger. Moana 2 brought in a massive $386.3 million globally on its opening weekend,
Wow.
making it the biggest animated film debut of 2024.
That is huge. Those are some serious numbers, and it's really interesting to compare this to other big Disney movies.
Yeah.
Like Frozen and Frozen 2. Those were also Thanksgiving weekend champions.
Absolutely. Those were big. But Moana 2 is even bigger. If you look at the day-by-day numbers on Thanksgiving Thursday, Moana 2 actually made almost double what Frozen 2 did.
Oh, wow.
And then on Friday, it totally beat Frozen 2's Friday earnings.
It sounds like Moana 2 is on a roll that no one can stop.
Yeah.
What I think is really interesting is how Moana 2 builds on what the original Moana did back in 2016.
Yeah, the first Moana was a big success. It earned $682.6 million at the box office, and critics loved it.
Yeah, it was more than just the numbers, though. Moana really connected with people. People love the story, the animation, and of course that incredible music.
Oh, yeah, that soundtrack.
How far I'll go.
That was a big one.
Okay, so we know Moana 2 is a massive hit. What's making it so successful? Is it just nostalgia, or is there something more?
Nostalgia definitely plays a part. I mean, the first Moana was huge, so people are excited to see more. But I think there's more to it than just that.
Okay, so what else is going on? Why are people loving this movie?
Well, Disney's really good at understanding what audiences want, and they deliver on it.
What do you mean? Like, what are they delivering that's working so well with Moana 2?
Well, one thing is that they tell stories that appeal to everyone. You know, Moana, it's a story about identity adventure going after your dreams.
Right, those are things that everyone can relate to, no matter how old you are.
Exactly. It's not just a kid's movie. The whole family can enjoy it.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the representation in Moana, showing Polynesian culture.
Absolutely. That was a huge deal. Moana was groundbreaking in the way it portrayed Polynesian culture.
It was so different from the typical Disney princess. It was really refreshing.
And that representation really resonated with audiences. People want to see themselves reflected in these big movies.
So we have the story, the representation, and then there's that Disney magic.
Oh, yeah. You can't forget about that. The animation in Moana 2 is amazing. Disney just keeps pushing the boundaries of what's possible with animation.
It's so immersive. It's like you're right there in the movie with Moana.
And then there's the music.
Oh, the music.
Ah!
Always so catchy.
Disney is so good at making soundtracks that you just can't get out of your head.
So it seems like Disney has this perfect formula, great stories, diverse characters, amazing animation, and kitschy music.
Yeah, they've really found something that works.
But this level of success must come with a lot of pressure for their next movie. I mean, how can they top this?
Yeah, the stakes are definitely high now.
What if their next animated film doesn't do as well as Moana 2?
That's the question, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see what they do next.
Yeah, they've set a really high bar for themselves.
No doubt. So we've talked about the success, the reasons behind it, and the pressure that comes with it. But here's where things get really interesting. What does all this say about the power of Disney animation today?
Well, what's interesting is that with all the superhero movies and sequels and stuff, Disney animation is still going strong.
It's like people are looking for something different, something more heartfelt.
And Disney's giving them that. People want stories that make them feel something. Stories with hope and wonder.
And Moana 2 definitely does that. What does this mean for Disney's future? What kinds of stories will they tell?
If we look at the big picture, I think it shows that audiences want more than just explosions and special effects. They want stories that connect with them on an emotional level, stories about what it means to be human.
And Disney's really good at telling those stories.
They are. And Moana 2 proves that people still want those kinds of stories.
So what's the main takeaway for our listeners? What should they remember from all of this? I think the main thing is that Disney animation is a powerful force. They know how to tell stories, and they're embracing diversity and representation, and that makes their movies appeal to a wider audience.
That's a great point. And for everyone listening, here's something to think about. Could Moana 2's success mean that Hollywood is changing? Maybe moving away from just big blockbusters and toward more meaningful movies, more character-driven stories.
Interesting.
It's something to consider. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Moana 2. We'll see you next time.